Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Good evening, messenger.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
You convinced us that you were the last messenger.
Allahu Akbar.
How many other bastard children do you have?
Barbershop conversation, guys. Feel free, hit the subscribe button. What you guys just saw is the trailer to my new film, 9 Wives. It's already an award-winning film. We're in 4 film festivals thus far, and we only been out 2 weeks now. So thank you guys. I totally appreciate you guys supporting the project. It's doing exceptionally well. And you know, I've gotten a lot of questions as it pertains to was Elijah Muhammad a pedophile and sleeping with underage girls? Well, in this video, you're actually going to get it. And I made a mistake. I made one mistake in the film. I said 16. It should have been 15. You understand what I'm saying? Because I should have went back to the day that the child was conceived. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is methodically go through this, okay? And we're going to share these screens, and I'm going to go through these videos with y'all really, really quick, okay? Well, we're going to take our time. This is YouTube. We could definitely take our time, okay? Now, let's share this screen. All right. Here we go. Now we're going to go to Kamal Muhammad, who's the man in question, whose birth name is Kamal Hughes. We'll get there in a second, but I just want you guys to go through this with me. Go through this with me really, really quick, okay? Now we're going to go through. Here we go. This is Kamal Muhammad, as you guys see on the screen, but he was born Kamal Hughes, okay? And he is the son of Elijah Muhammad. Now let's listen to him.
With our dads, didn't play baseball with him. You know, my father was not home with me every night. You know, I might literally sometimes see him only a couple of times a year.
Now he's talking about Elijah Muhammad, how he only saw him a couple times a year. A couple meaning less than 5.
You know, but that was like natural to me. I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel left out. I had to keep my father's secret at that time because I'm.
Did you hear? He had to keep his father a secret at the time. Let's rewind that so you guys can hear it again.
Left out. I had to keep my father's secret at that time because
he had to keep his father's secret because him and you guys are here. Let's move forward.
I'm the oldest son from the second.
Now he is the oldest son of the second set of kids.
Second set, you know. So
let's rewind that part again.
Set, you know, so
let's rewind that one more time so we get it.
At that time, I mean, I was born at the time when Malcolm was a problem, Brother Malcolm was a problem. And, you know, at that time, it really was a very difficult time.
Now, keep in mind, he said he was born at the time when Malcolm was a problem. These are all keys because I'm gonna break some news to y'all about how the Nation of Islam scrubs the internet and changes when they change their birth name to Muhammad. They changed their birth dates, etc., etc. All right, here we go.
To be one of my father's children from other than Mother Clara Muhammad, because they were using that as a weapon against him. And I'm actually old enough to remember calls from Malcolm to my mother, Brother Malcolm to my mother, and things like that. You know,
he said he's old enough to remember. Listen to this. He's old enough to remember calls from Malcolm X to his mother. His mother is Ola Hughes. I'm going to put all that at the end. His mother is Ola Hughes, who's currently known as Ola Muhammad. Okay, let's continue.
So that's the only thing that was slightly difficult, that we had to keep my father's relationship to a secret. I mean, if you can imagine going.
He had to keep his relationship with his father a secret because, as you know, Mike Wallace and media was researching Malcolm X and his relationship with Elijah Muhammad. And was it true? Was he sleeping with underage secretaries? And we're going to get to the end. Follow me.
To the mosque, the first thing they ask you is, who is your father?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And you can't really answer that. So I had several instances where that was a little difficulty. And I knew the other brother, Sharif, who was the Supreme Captain at the time. And several times he had to come up and help me because the brothers on security were like trying to figure, who's this young man who says he's a Muslim, you know, he gives the greetings and everything, but we don't know who his father is, you know.
He kept his father secret. So let's quickly review this segment. His father was a secret. He remembered when Malcolm X used to call his mom Ola Hughes, who is now Ola Muhammad, and he used to spend a couple times a year with his father. Okay. Now, just so we can get the age correct, we're going to fast forward 1350. All right, here we go. Now pay attention. This is going to show you how old he is.
Once the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed,
Elijah Muhammad passed February 25th, 1975. Pay attention. He died February 25th, 1975. Nation of Islam uses the term departed. Listen.
How did that impact you personally, and what did you do?
Yes, that's a hard question. Well, I was in school at that time. I was going to the University of Chicago Lab School in high school.
He was in high school at the time. In high school, your ages 14 to 18 or 15 to 18. And in the 70s, high school began at that time in 1975, 10th grade, 11th grade, and 12th grade. Let's rewind it so you guys can hear it again. 1350. Here we go. Pay attention.
Once the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad departed, how did that impact you personally, and what did you do?
Yes, that's a hard question. Well, I was in school at that time. I was going to the University of Chicago Lab School in high school.
He was in high school at the time. Okay. He was 15 at the time. Okay. He was 15 at the time. Now we're gonna fast forward to here's another incredible point. He ended up marrying Louis Farrakhan's daughter. Okay. Now let's fast forward to 1606. All right, here we go.
Praise be to Allah. Yes, sir. And for those who may not know, you married the Most Honorable Farrakhan's daughter. How did you handle that as far as the pressure of doing that?
Well, I think I put more pressure on myself.
Now, the reason why that is important is because he married Louis Farrakhan's daughter, which means that they're co-conspirators on the secret at changing birth certificates, changing paperwork to raise the ages, to change the ages, and that they scrub the internet. Okay, we're going to get there. I have the facts. Keep on. Now, he's going to say he never had a father. Louis Farrakhan became a father figure to him. Listen.
But like I said, I felt more welcome than anything in my life. And this is another important thing. It brought me a father. Because I did not grow up with my father, and to have someone now that I could.
So basically what he's saying is he didn't grow up with his father, who was Elijah Muhammad. And Elijah Muhammad was not in his life. And Louis Farrakhan became the father that he desperately desired and wanted. Now, to substantiate how important fathers is to him, we're going to fast forward to 3525. And here he's saying the greatest joy of his life is raising his kids.
Yeah, you know.
Yes, sir. Okay, beautiful. What advice would you give to future fathers?
Well, I guess it's the same thing. I have two sons. I don't have a daughter. I thank God I don't have a daughter. I would not know how to raise a daughter. You know?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But I mean, I now that I have two sons that are grown almost, I mean, I really do miss having a daughter. But at my younger age, I don't know how I would have raised a daughter because I would have been so ridiculous, so protective, so ridiculous.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You know, but to raise my sons, I basically wanted to teach them to be responsible men. You know, to recognize their value as Black men. That you are not.
Okay. Now that we got this information out the way, now keep in mind, remember, he said, let me fast 2:15. Remember this statement. Remember this statement.
Because I'm the oldest son from the second set. You know, so at that time, I mean, I was born at the time when Malcolm was a problem, Brother Malcolm was a problem. And, you know, at that time, it really was a very difficult time to be one of my father's children from other than Mother Clara Muhammad, because they were using that as a weapon against him. And I'm actually old enough to remember calls from Malcolm to my mother, Brother Malcolm.
Now, he says he's old enough to remember calls from Malcolm to, he says he's old enough to remember calls from his mother. I mean, from Malcolm X to his mother. Now, follow me. Bombshell number one. This is how they changed their dates when they changed their name. He was born Kamal Hughes, which I'm going to show you guys. And they changed his name to Kamal Muhammad. And they, and when they do that, they change their names. Now, here we go. This is his officials. This is his official Facebook page. As you guys, let me enlarge it. As you guys, oh, it's already enlarged. As you can see, it says, son of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, former National Secretary of the NOI, former CFO of the Million Man March, right? Now let's scroll down. His birth date. He changed his birth date. Let me enlarge it so you guys can see it. April 2nd, 1966. Malcolm X was murdered February 21st, 1965. How are you born after Malcolm X died? When you remember, I repeat, when you remember conversations between your mom and Malcolm X. Let's hear it again.
The oldest son from the second set.
You know, so one more time.
About it, I didn't feel left out. I had to keep my father's secret at that time because I'm the oldest son from the second set. You know, so at that time, I mean, I was born at the time when Malcolm was a problem, Brother Malcolm was a problem. And, you know, at that time, it really was a very difficult time to be one of my father's children from other than Mother Clara Muhammad, because they were using that as a weapon against him. And I'm actually old enough to remember calls from Malcolm to my mother, Brother Malcolm to my mother, and things like that, you know. So that's.
He's old enough to remember calls between Brother Malcolm and his mother. His mother is Ola Hughes, okay, who now goes by the name of Ola Muhammad. Okay, now let's go to his birth date. As you guys can see, he lied, but I want to make sure so you guys can see that this is a real page. I am going to refresh it. I am going to refresh it. Scroll up, scroll down, and you will see it. I will actually change, see, so you know it's in real time, right? You guys see it. I changed from posts to about, scroll up, and contact and basic info. April 2nd, 1966. Wow, right? Now we're going to get to how old he really is in real life. Now, here's his birth date in real life. Kamal T. Hughes, April 24th, 1960. He's 61 years old to this day. If he was born 1966, he cannot remember phone calls between Malcolm X and his mother, Ola Hughes, because guess what? Malcolm X was murdered by them. And this is why I tell you guys, the Nation of Islam scrubs the internet and tries to cover up their lies for over 50 or 60 years. Now, if he was born 1960, that means he was conceived in what? September of 1959. Okay? That means he was conceived in September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. No, he was conceived in July. Let's see. July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. That means he was conceived in July of 1959. Now I have stuff to prove his marriage license and birth certificates and all that to prove and substantiate, but I'm not going to pull that now. I'm just going to let the Nation of Islam respond to this, and then I'll just let it all flood out. Okay. Now let's go to his mother's age. Let me organize this real quick so you guys can see. Okay, here we go. And here we go. Ola Hughes, born February 22nd, 1944. I have so much paperwork to substantiate this claim, but just for the sake of this video, I'll let the Nation of Islam respond and let them lie and say, oh, yada, yada, yada. But the fact remains, Ola Hughes was born when? February 22nd, 1944. She's 77 years old to this day. When was her son conceived? July of 1959. How old does that make Ola Hughes? 15 years old. Now, the bigger question is, are we going to start telling the truth? Louis Farrakhan is in on this. He protected it. They changed the name to Muhammad to protect his identity. Elijah Muhammad was never in his life by his own admission. He finally got a father when he married Louis Farrakhan's daughter. They lied and said that those were his wives. They were over 18. Malcolm X is a liar. Malcolm X is a hypocrite. You're looking on your screen right now. Ola Hughes was 15 years old when she had sex with Elijah Muhammad. That's why I asked and brought these men on my platform and asked, when are we going to begin to be honest? When the only way we can heal is if we be honest. And these are the stone cold facts. I have so much paperwork to substantiate my claims. And I have more too. All right. I would not put out a project that I wouldn't do my research on. Ola Hughes was 15 years old when she had sex with Elijah Muhammad. Now, that's when she conceived. Her birthday was in February, so quite possibly they were having sex when he was 14, when she was 14. Now, let's hear this again from the son.
Baseball with him, you know. My father was not home with me every night. You know, I might literally sometimes see him only a couple of times a year, you know. But that was like natural to me. I didn't feel bad about it. I didn't feel left out. I had to keep my father's secret at that time because I'm the oldest son from the second set, you know. So at that time, I mean, I was born at the time when Malcolm was a problem, Brother Malcolm was a problem. And, you know, at that time, it really was a very difficult time to be one of my father's children from other than Mother Clara Muhammad, because they were using that as a weapon against him. And I'm actually old enough to remember calls from Malcolm to my mother, Brother Malcolm to my mother, and things like that, you know. So,
and there you have it. I'm actually old enough to remember. You know the reason why he's old enough to remember? Here's the reason why. I'm going to end this video in a second. You know the reason why he's old enough to remember? Because guess what? He was born April 24th, 1960. When was Malcolm X making these phone calls? 1963, 64, and quite possibly the top of 1965. So that makes him anywhere between the ages of 3 and close to 5. So he remembers the pressure of his home. He remembers men coming to his house saying, no, leave Malcolm alone. He's a liar. He's a hypocrite. They would media control his mother, Ola Hughes. So now men got to make a decision. You guys say, I don't listen to R. Kelly's music. He's this, he's that. Brother Polite, he's this, he's that. Minister York, Dr. York, he's this, he's that. They all use this cult-like mentality to control and take advantage of women. And these are the facts. So we're going to end with this. Now that we have the actual facts, it's not in question for 50 years. I need you guys to do another thing. In the meantime, between time, I need you guys to go purchase, guess what? The film of the year. I need you guys to go purchase the film of the year, and this will tell you the story. And this story is based off of real life events. I just proved it to y'all. All right. And we're going to watch this trailer once again, and we're going to get out of here. So I thank you guys in advance. Elijah Muhammad was indeed a pedophile and had sex with at least a 14 and or 15-year-old and got her pregnant at 15. And we have physical evidence that they scrubbed and changed the births. They changed their birth dates to protect the Nation of Islam. And Louis Farrakhan was complicit because Kamal Hughes, aka Kamal Howard Muhammad, married his daughter. Barbershop Conversations. Click the link in the bio. 9 Wives is an extraordinary film. It's an amazing film. It's all built on facts. I have interviews upon interviews and paperwork to substantiate my claims, and I will go tit for tat with anyone from the Nation of Islam to prove my point. All right. So Barbershop Conversations, feel free, hit the subscribe button. And here's the trailer. Once again, click the link in the bio to watch the film 9 Wives, based on all facts and interviews. Peace.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Good evening, messenger.
Allahu Akbar, Allah.
You convinced us that you were the last messenger.
Allahu Akbar.
How many other bastard children do you have?